Welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 10th, 2022. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Nicole Eridix.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
Every week, we chat about the things parents are talking about, complaining about, and obsessing about right now. This week, we're complaining about parenting rites of passage and obsessing about little life improvements. We also take a couple of breaks for an entertainment discussion and a recommendation roundup. Today, we are talking about birthday parties and who should go to them. We saw an article on today.com that had, was this the headline of it, Catherine? Or just yes, this is the clickbaity headline. Mama 5 says she brings whole family to birthday parties. You get all of us. And yeah, that is designed for people to go, say what? And click on the headline. And if you read it, she says she does it because her husband works a lot and it's just her and the kids. So if it's the kind of party where parents stay, she can only stay if she brings all the kids. She says that she does spend a little more on the gift, and she asks, or, when she RSVPs, she says, hey, by the way, I'm bringing 4, plus 4.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, if she does that, if she lets the host know, and then the host has the freedom to say, gee, we wish you wouldn't, and then they don't go, I have no problem with it. Who cares? When my kids were little, I remember my son in particular had a friend. This was in his special ed class. And the friend's brother and sister just came to a birthday party every time they came. And I don't remember if the mom stayed or not. She might have asked me if it was okay if she went, or she might have just dropped them. I'm not sure. And I always had that little nugget of resentment in my head about it. But at the same time, I could tell it wasn't a great situation. And really, it's not that big a deal. And, after the first party, you kind of expect it. So in this case, 4 extras is a lot. But if the mom says, hey, here's the situation.
Right. And it sounded like the mom usually stays. It's not like she's dropping off all 5 and then hitting the road.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's an easy thing to just be reflexively outraged over, but seems okay to me.
I've had a situation where I was hosting a party for one of my kids, and the attendance was looking quite slim. And then my neighbor who had 4 kids was like, we'll all come. And I said, yes, please.
Yes.
Because otherwise there was hardly anybody at the party. So it kind of helped.
Sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was interesting if you read the article a little bit or looked at the comments, or I guess because it came from an Instagram post or something.
Yeah.
That some people were like, of course, isn't that what everyone does? And some people were like, oh my God, as you said, that some people were experiencing the clickbait version. So it can be, I think, sort of like what's the culture of your school or your friend group or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we basically never had kid birthday parties in my family. It was just family parties.
Yeah.
Because we had not a large extended family, but we had enough so that for every child's birthday, you just pretty much just had grandma, grandpa, and no grandpa, but grandma and the aunt and uncle and cousin. And that was it. I don't know if it was just because my mom was like, I have 3 kids and a full-time job. I'm not doing birthday parties too. So, but we didn't expect it. So it was just the way it was.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think I must have I know I had slumber parties when I was a little older, and that's one where you would not want extra attendees, but that's also one where the mom is just going to drop off.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that if you were in a community where large families were common, there probably would be a lot more acceptance and understanding of it. And it may be a situation where just, the entire family of kids is invited.
Right.
Which would also be fine. I mean, or just, I mean, if the party's at Chuck E. Cheese, just go get yourself a table and send your kids into the ball pit with everybody else who's going to know.
Yeah, definitely. If you're bringing a lot of extras, then you kind of have to stay. You can't be assuming that the party hosts are your free babysitters for the afternoon.
Yeah, generally my son's parties have always been all the moms stay.
Right.
That seems to be a thing of, at least at his level of disability amongst his friends. Mom is just an accessory. Mom comes along to everything. Mom never knows. We have the table for the kids and the table for the moms. Cake for the kids. Here, moms. Would you like coffee with that, moms?
Right.
So I guess I'm more accustomed to, accessory individuals with birthday guest than others might be.
Right.
But for what is the age at which in ordinary circles, the mom stops staying? Because when the kids are little, the mom's got to stay regardless, right? Well, bring a 3-year-old to a birthday party and say, I'll be back in 3 hours.
Yeah. I think it's
got to be an age at which the child says, oh my goodness, mother, please do not come in. You're going to embarrass me.
Well, I think it usually happens before the kid asks for it. I mean, at least in my experience, it was maybe like 5-ish.
Oh gosh, that would never happen in my community.
I would not want to be responsible for a room full of 5-year-olds.
Yeah. In my community, it's all helicopter parents. So you've got
the helipad outside and they just
literally. I mean, my daughter had we were the kind of the house where everybody congregated.
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened that way because, kids were just, because we were more open to having kids over than the kids and the families in our kids' friend groups. So we were always the house with stuff going on. And I mean, the kids would be like, in their early teens, and the parents would be sitting out in the car at the front of the house. It was like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Just leave them alone. Like, let them, they're fine. They've been here, they know me. Like, just let them be. But I was always okay with people staying. But what I started to resent was that because nobody else would reciprocate. Like, there was no way that anybody else was going to host a party or have anybody over. And so I always seemed to be the one that was accommodating these parents and their needs and their issues. And yet I could never, there was no kind of, a one-off is fine, but if it's repeatedly, it's like, oh gosh, this is starting to feel like a little bit too much. Beyond, when we all had to be there, of course.
Right.
And then the other thing too is it might have been a little bit better if, I don't know, if some way the parent contributed because there's extra bodies there, right? If they brought a appetizer or something, I don't know.
Yeah, well, she did mention that she spends more on gift. It has to be like at a, I guess it is at a wedding, you have to give a gift that you assume will cover at least the cost of your plates.
Right.
Maybe you need to do that for a birthday party too. If it's at a restaurant, figure out how much and make sure that you give enough to cover all the additional people you brought.
But I did note that she said a little more, and she's bringing 4 additional guests plus herself.
I think each kid has to bring a present, an individual present.
Yeah.
But again, if you've called and negotiated it, then you don't have that obligation quite so much.
Right. And is it the kind of party? Is it like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, where you might be paying by the head, or is it just at their house where, that you're bringing a 2-year-old who will only eat 3 grapes, or are you bringing a 10-year-old who will eat a full meal like an adult?
Right.
Yeah. So, there needs to be some sort of
tricky
calculation done.
It
It
is.
is.
It's very situational, but just don't take advantage of other people. I think that was my thing.
Well, I think the very bedrock of it is ask, and ask in such a way that the other person can say no.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask in terms of, yeah, and I'm going to be bringing these, thanks. But hey, here's my situation.
Right.
My child would love to come, but I'm going to have to bring the other kids too. If you're not comfortable with that, I totally get it. Happy birthday to whoever, and we'll just have to sit this one out.
Right.
And then, I mean, I would totally tell them to come, but I can understand that there are people who wouldn't want to.
Right.
But as long as you do that, I think you're in the clear.
Exactly. We give you our permission if you do it our way. And that's it for today's round 1. Tune in tomorrow for our entertainment themed round 2, and later in the week to find out what we're complaining about, obsessing about, and recommending right now. We're always interested in what you have to say. So drop us a comment on our website, our Facebook page, or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.